one of the greatest and most documented tragedies of modern times. A marvel of engineering, a pinnacle of design. What was meant to be one of man's greatest achievements turned into an exact opposite. Over 1,500 people died when an unsinkable ship hit an iceberg on April 14, 1912. I'm Anton from Heroes Jewelry, and together we will look at some of the stories and jewelry recovered from the wreckage of the Titanic. Most of the jewels from the Titanic were recovered from a single leather bag in 1987. This bag had likely been in the care of the ship's purser. There were many rich people on the ship, and the purser was responsible for guarding their prized possessions during the voyage. When the ship started to sink, he probably removed the jewels and other items from a safe and put them in a leather bag to be loaded onto a safe boat and returned to their owners after the rescue. Because of the lack of safe boats, no purser was ever rescued, so the bag ended up on the ocean floor. Among the items from the bag was a golden nugget necklace that probably belonged to Margaret Brown, better known as the unsinkable Molly Brown. An American socialite and philanthropist, Molly was rescued by lifeboat number 6. Then, unsuccessfully, tried to persuade the crew to return to the wreckage and look for survivors.
It's your men out there!
She even threatened to throw some crewmen overboard if they didn't turn around.
There's plenty of room for more!
Another item found was this charm necklace. This type of jewelry was popular in the Victorian era and was worn for good luck. This necklace features a good luck pick, a modified star with a 3-leaf clover and a rose-cut diamond engraved ironically with the words "This be your lucky star." Considering that it ended up on the bottom of the sea, it probably didn't work. Besides the leather bag, a small satchel full of jewels was found in the wreckage. This is said to have belonged to Engelhard Ostby, a 65-year-old jeweler returning from a gem-buying trip to Europe. A Norwegian immigrant goldsmith, for just $3,000, he founded Ostby & Barton. At the time of his death, the nation's largest jewelry manufacturer and the largest gold ring factory in the world. A blue sapphire ring, mounted in a setting surrounded by 14 diamonds, and a gold locket were just 2 pieces found among the wreckage. Ostby drowned among other passengers, but his body was later recovered and buried in Rhode Island. But perhaps the most fascinating and well-known is the love story behind one of the most famous pieces of jewelry in the world. Heart of the Ocean, immortalized by James Cameron in his movie Titanic. But the real heart of the ocean wasn't a blue diamond. It wasn't heart-shaped, it wasn't owned by Louis XVI, and it wasn't called the Heart of the Ocean. The sapphire necklace is now known as the Love of the Sea, and it belonged to the 19-year-old Kate Florence Phillips, a shop clerk from Worcester, England. Henry Samuel Morley, 20 years her senior and owner of one of the shops she worked in, was the one who had gifted it to her. They boarded the ship as second-class passengers under the names Mr. and Mrs. Marshall. Henry had left behind his wife and child for Kate and a new life in America. To his friends and family, he had told he needed a climate change to recover from a recent illness. The two were to settle in Los Angeles, the necklace a symbol of hope and future among the rich in one of the fancy dining rooms of the Titanic. When the ocean liner struck the iceberg, women and children were rescued first, and Henry was left to drown in the cold waters. Kate made it back to England on the Celtic, carrying only her purse, her keys, her sapphire necklace and Henry's unborn child. It's entirely possible that the Love of the Sea sapphire wasn't a real sapphire. By the beginning of the 20th century, synthetic sapphires emerged on the market, and by 1912, almost 3 tons of fake stones were produced each year. Did Henry give Kate a fake stone? And does this little love story even matter in the scale of the great tragedy? See you in the next video.